Hey y'all, it's me Casey and I'm back with another video. Okay, I'm gonna make this real quick. All right, so I just made a video called people what well, I don't know what it's called. What it basically was about believers that is going to be placed in the beast system by God is strategic. It's very strategic. They were going to basically be spies. They were going to be able to help out God's people. They were going to be able to convert or help people get converted to believers as well in Jesus Christ. So I wanted to follow it up with this video, giving you a couple of examples of God doing this in the past. So in the book, I think it's Genesis, Joseph became second commander in charge of the Egyptians. Pharaoh gave him second in command in charge when he was able to interpret the dream about the famine that was going to come. And for 7 years, the 7 skinny cows and the 7 fat cows. And so that gift that he had helped Pharaoh to be able to know what to do. So Pharaoh put him in charge and said, okay, you go and store the grain and you go and work all that out and make sure that we have food when 7 years come. So he was like the vice president, right? And that was the beast system, basically. He was in a Gentile nation, right? And he was running things. Another example is Moses. So we have Moses and Moses' mother, because the babies were going to be murdered. Moses' mother put him in the Hebrew babies. Hebrew Israelite babies were going to be murdered, the boys. And so she took and put him in a river. And when she put him in that river, he went and was saved by the daughter of Pharaoh. She fell in love with him at first sight and asked Pharaoh, can I keep this baby? Even though it was a Hebrew Israelite, she loved the baby and she raised that baby in the kingdom. He was in the beast system. He was able to help his people, especially when he found out who they were from within. But we know that he was the one that eventually led them out of Egypt, out of slavery altogether. Let's also talk about one last one, Esther. Okay, and it's other examples, but I ain't got much time. Esther, she was made queen. So basically, it was Xerxes, I don't know how to say his name, the King Xerxes, and he was looking for a queen, and she just so happened to win. You got to check out that story, guys. The story is so awesome. She happened to win. She was beautiful and everything. He fell for her, so she ended up becoming the queen. Her father, well, really, he was like her stepdad, because her parents had died or whatever. They were dead, and he adopted her. But her, so I'm gonna say her father, Mordecai, had basically told her, hey, listen, they're planning on murdering us, the Jewish people. They're planning on murdering us. Oh, no. First, he told her that they were planning on doing something to the king, murdering the king. And so she took that message back to him and told him. And when they found out it was true, and the king found out it was true, he went and handled the business, right? And she let the king know that Mordecai, it was her adopted father, Mordecai, who gave her that pertinent information. Okay. So he had even more favor, with her. She had more favor with him. And then it was a guy named Haman, and Haman didn't like the Jews, and he was like, they will not bow down and worship. They will not bow down. The Jewish people are not the Jewish, the Hebrews. They will not bow down and they will not worship when we tell them to worship. Okay, they need to be killed. So he went and he got the gallows, the beheading machines and everything, and they were going to kill the Hebrews on the 13th of the month. However, the queen, right? The queen, which happened to be a Hebrew Israelite, but they didn't know that, right? The queen just so happened to get wind of this, right? Because her Mordecai had told her about it. And so she went and she did a strategic thing where she went and told the king And again, read the story. It's really cool how it worked out. But she told the king, hey, listen, they're going to go and kill all of my people or whatever on the 13th. And he said, who's doing this? Now, she set up a dinner and everything. I mean, it was perfect. She had set up 2 dinners for him. And like I say, read the story. Long story short, though, she basically was in the beast system. God placed her there to save the people. After the king found out that Haman was going to have them all murdered, which he had actually given Haman that power to do whatever he wanted to do. But after he found out that information from her and her beauty just pleased him, and she had cooked him dinner and everything, he said, I'll give you anything that you want, Esther. Anything. What do you want? I promise I'll give it to you. And she said, this is my opportunity. So she said, listen, my people are going to be killed. Haman planned it because they won't worship you. Okay, they won't bow down and worship. And so what he did was he ended up not killing them. He ended up killing Haman instead. And then he gave not her, Esther, he gave Mordecai. He gave Mordecai Haman's home, his cattle, his silver, his gold, all of his possessions, okay? And so that's basically how that worked out. So my point here is that God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. And so if just those couple of stories that I gave you isn't enough proof that he will have some believers in the beast system, then I don't know what to tell you. So anyways, I just wanted to drop that in on you so you kind of remember those stories, okay? And it's kind of the same way with Daniel. You know, Daniel, he was in the beast system. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were favored, just like I told y'all in the first video. So, it's plenty of stories talking about how God always made a way and always had a provision for his people. He always have. And you think he ain't now? Oh, he does now as well. Anyways, I just wanted to share that. If you have anything you want to say, please drop it down in the comment section. If you know of some other stories that where his people was used in the beast system to help other Hebrew Israelites, then